welcome back to
Bunso Bites.
I'm your host, Ami43.
And I'm your co-host, Chiggy.
Hi, husband.
Hi, wife.
We've been saying that pretty much since we got married.
Yeah.
And I don't find it annoying. I find it very endearing. It's been a couple weeks. We did kind of batch record a little bit, but then as I guess my/your update, we were sick.
Yes.
Like annoyingly, almost deathly sick. For about a week there, we were literally living on the couch, barely surviving. We truly put in sickness and in health to the test week 1.
Yeah.
It was great. And as you can hear, and I don't know if you still have it, I have just like the hints of a baby cough still left.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
So apologies in advance, not just to the listeners, but to our editor.
And me.
To Chiggy. There may be a couple jump pauses in this video because one/both of us might start a coughing fit. But otherwise, we are feeling significantly better. I would say the worst of it was pretty much a week ago to the day. We were really, really out of it. I think my highest fever that I recorded was 102, and that's not fun. I'll tell you that much. And what was worse was we were both sick. So it was not just, oh, okay, I'm sick, so we gotta whatever. We were both sick, but we were both trying to take care of each other, but we were both dying on the inside. Wouldn't wish this particular flu for this season on my worst enemy. It was horrible. But thankfully we made it through the worst of it. A success. I kind of think it's funny that literally in less than a month of us being married, it was kind of already put to the test. But not in a bad way. I feel like it was just kind of okay, if anything, I was just wow, I really love just spending time with this guy all the time. It didn't matter to me. I mean, it sucked that we were sick, but I was I get to spend every waking minute with him. This is great. I don't know. How are you feeling, genuinely?
Now I'm feeling a lot better. There was a point early in the sickness where I was just bedridden.
Yeah. And
I was just in
full
pain, just snapping in and out of reality, just
That's what
am I alive?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm alive.
Truly, we were on. It felt like we were on death's doorstep, which it sounds so dramatic, but genuinely, because I remember, I think the worst for you was earlier in the week, and then the worst for me was a little less than 48 hours later.
Yeah.
And I know this because, so when he was really, really bad, I was still okay enough that I was walking around the apartment and I was okay, I made food for you and all this stuff. You didn't eat any of it, but it was fine.
I had
that's
no
how
appetite.
bad it was. We weren't eating, which is very uncharacteristic of us. Because if anything, the one thing we want to do when we're not feeling well is eat. So it completely destroyed our appetites for, I would say there was for me, it was a 3-day period.
Yeah.
Where I
exactly
wasn't really, I couldn't, it was not only did I not want to eat, I couldn't stomach a lot. Because, and I even told you, I was oh, I'm thinking I'm going to throw up. And you were oh, and he brought me a plastic bag just in case. I mean, I held it in, but it was still just just very uncharacteristic of us.
Yeah.
So you got hit a little bit earlier on, and then 2 or 3 days later, I had a full mental breakdown and I was just crying. And you were just it's okay. And we were both just sick and dying, but we were just everything is fine. So again, would not wish this particular flu or this season of flu on anyone. It wasn't great, but thank God, not only are we better, but we were able to kind of hop back into our lives pretty quickly. We were literally down for 7 days and then snap right back up. So very grateful for that. And, now we're here. And we literally have been talking about, oh, yeah, we need to do the next part. We need to do the next part. But like we just have not gotten to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're like, okay, we really have to record. So if I am remembering correctly, in our last episode, in our wedding saga,
Yep.
we were talking about you getting ready with the guys. Just to clarify again, we kind of decided, or it made the most sense for us, which is not necessarily traditional, to get ready in 2 different locations. So Chiggy was getting ready. Originally it was going to be at the house, but then they changed their mind, and then they were doing it at the hotel that we had actually reserved for the videographer. But I think it worked out because it was kind of it was a whole suite, so there was enough room for you guys. And then for me, I got ready here in the apartment. I set everything up, and I made sure, before everything, I was like, I had 2 tables because we had 2 hair and makeup stylists coming in. So I gave them 2 whole tables so that they have more than enough room to spread out and do what they need to do. Obviously, there's more than enough seats here, not only on the couch, but I brought in extra chairs. And, so it didn't make sense to go to a hotel where we were going to have to bring everything anyways, when I had everything here at my place, or here, at home. So, like, the wedding dress and everything was already here. I had a clothing rack for everyone's dresses. I had everyone's hangers, except for one, which was a whole story. I had, everything was, like, good to go. And I was like, okay, was it going to be maybe a little cramped in the sense that there was going to be a lot of us? Sure, but I wasn't so worried because I didn't think it was going to be uncomfortable. And to me, it wasn't. I was perfectly fine. I think some people were kind of like, and by some people I mean the hair and makeup stylist, they kind of raised an eyebrow. But once we all kind of settled in, I think it was perfectly fine. So on the morning of the wedding, Mo and I woke up. And remember, everyone, I don't want to say I'm type A, but I had a spreadsheet and I had a timeline. And per my timeline, I was supposed to wake up around 5:30, give or take. And you weren't supposed to show up until like 7 or something like that. But as we had discussed on your portion, it kind of worked out regardless. Chiggy did come here way earlier than that, and he was kind of just like on it. And you were able to help me get everyone in and settled, which was really, really nice. And there were things that happened that I was not aware of. But all that to say, you were here pretty much up to the point that the food got delivered.
Yes.
Which was really, really nice, too, because the whole point for you to come here was to pick up your portion of the food. We ordered breakfast for our entourage, obviously, so that we're not hungry during the day of the wedding. Or, it was going to be a long morning. So we ordered breakfast from one of my favorite breakfast places. Funny story about that. The way that all happened was, I had gone to breakfast I had taken my parents to this breakfast place. This is a very common breakfast place here in Hampton Roads. Egg Bistro. Sorry, I was like, what did I order? Wow, sick brain, still there. So I had brought my parents to Egg Bistro, which is a very popular breakfast place. And it's not my first time bringing them there. We've gone there multiple times. And so before the wedding, we had gone there just as while we were running errands or whatever, and we wanted breakfast. So while we were there, I just happened to ask the waitress, do you guys do catering by chance? Like, is that an option? Just thinking like, either, it'd be cool to do it either for the day of the wedding or even the day after the wedding if we hadn't kind of finalized plans beyond that. And the girl was like, yeah, we do. She handed me a catering menu and the business card for the lady, or I don't know what it's called, I guess catering manager in charge at Egg Bistro. Very, very nice lady. And that was kind of it. So then I went online and I realized it's truly the easiest thing. It's just an order form, like very almost like those like Jot zip forms. Very, very quick and easy. You just pick and choose what you want. And so you and I kind of just briefly discussed, what would you like? What would I like? Cool, let's do that. And we just ordered it. And I put, in the notes, and the apartment is within the delivery, what's the word? Zone?
Yeah.
Or it's radius. It's within the delivery radius of the restaurant. And I was like, this is great, because then I don't have to worry about it. And it was just a very quick and easy option with a restaurant that has food that I really, really like. So I was like, solved. Love that. Because I was, kind of thinking like maybe we could just pick up, a fruit tray and like some other stuff from Costco. Like, I don't know. I hadn't really thought it through, but this was just a way easier option with way better food.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, lovely. When the food got delivered, again, this was around 7, right? Yeah. Because the earliest they could deliver was 7 a.m. So I know you were kind of in the kitchen handling that. You were doing it by yourself, right? Because
No, your mom was helping me.
oh, mommy was helping you. Okay. And so it was just kind of like, we just kind of set out the food in the kitchen, and Chiggy took his portion, and then that's when Chiggy left.
Mm-hmm.
And up until this point, like, I think 2 of the bridesmaids had shown up at this point, or were 3 of them there?
3. There was
3
just
there?
1 left.
There was 1 left. Okay. And this one, it's totally fine. This one who was not there that early was not getting hair and makeup done. She was just showing up to get ready. So we were still on schedule. Everything was fine. From my perspective, everything was going great. As soon as, like, I think it was, I got up at like 5:30 or something like that, because Mo just kind of like slapped me up. She's like, wake up, you're getting married. And so all I remember was I immediately just went to the bathroom and was like, wash face, brush teeth. Like, I was not cognizant.
Mm-hmm.
But then as soon as I stepped out, you were there, and then one of the bridesmaids showed up like pretty much right on time. Cousin, Asper Cream.
Mm-hmm.
So then Asper Cream was here, and then you settled things, or you figured things out with Roxy.
Mm-hmm.
So then, it was kind of like, okay. And then everyone was like in. So then hair and makeup showed up. They were already in chairs, which was great. It was like, okay, we're moving forward. We're getting along. Or Mo was in hair and makeup or something like that. So it was like, we were on schedule. Everything was fine. Hair and makeup was scheduled to show up, I think, at 6 or 6:30. And they were on time.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed them, I was like, here's your table. Here's your extension cords. Let me know what you need. And they, they just kind of set up. The hair and makeup lady did kind of give a little bit of a side eye, because she was like, where am I supposed to set up? And I was like, you have a full table. You have all your extension cords. What else do you need? But it was like, whatever. And I don't blame her. It was like really, really early in the morning. None of us had coffee at this point. And then the Starbucks order. That was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So Chiggy was very, very kind, and we coordinated with him, and he was able to get Starbucks. So all these moving parts are happening, and what was I doing? All I remember, the first thing I did was I was working on one of my bridesmaids' dresses, because she had a dress that was a little bit more low cut. And so I asked her, and I had asked her before, I was like, do you want me to sew in a panel? Like, it was literally 2 stitches, guys. Like, it was crazy. My mom thought I was crazy, because she's like, why are you sewing? And I was like I was hand stitching her dress.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, because I'm literally putting in a stitch here and a stitch here, and then just the panel is going to like sit. I had the perfect colored lace that was like ready to go. And I did it, it took me less than 15 minutes. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It felt quick to me. And then by that time, our 3rd bridesmaid had shown up. And so everything was all kind of like moving and going, and everything was going to plan. The plan was, from 6 to about 10, we were all getting ready, and we were all gonna, get ready for the wedding. And then we were going to leave by 10:30. Now, here, I guess, is my error or my mistake that I didn't quite think of, in a sense of I thought I had allotted a big enough buffer window, and I did not. And a big part of that is I had told my hair and makeup people that we need to be ready by 10,
Mm-hmm.
so that we could leave by 10:15, 10:30, because like, okay, we're gonna do that, take a couple pictures, get dressed, and we're heading out. Like, I wasn't planning on a lot of pictures happening post hair and makeup, because I was like, we're gonna do that at the wedding. It was just, maybe a couple pictures of us getting ready, a couple pictures, and like, we got these like cute little like robes, very typical like wedding stuff. And in my head, that made the most sense. What I didn't factor in, and what ended up happening, was hair and makeup did have us ready at 10. But that's the thing. We were all getting finished around 10. And so for whatever reason, from 10 to 10:30, there was just like this weird, like, some people were getting touch-ups, because obviously they had started at like 6 in the morning. So then they were getting an extra touch-up after, just like to freshen up, make sure we're fresh and good for the wedding day, which is normally how that goes. But it was like, I wish instead that I had told hair and makeup that we need to be ready by 9:30 or 9. You know, give myself an hour instead of just half an hour. And hindsight is 2020. Like, I can't take that back.
Mm-hmm.
Now I realize that it wasn't even that the pictures took long, because literally, and this was all the craziness of what was happening in the day, because literally, like, I think, I don't know if it was Mo or my mom, they just kind of were like, okay, girls, get on the couch. We need to take the robe pictures. Like, let's go. And those pictures, we took like a gazillion photos on the couch in our robes. I took photos of Mo. I took photos of my mom. Less than 10 minutes. Like, it was the quickest, most efficient thing. But it was the chaos of like us getting to that point, like right before that, I wish I had allotted more time. Because obviously, like, I wasn't trying to rush hair and makeup, but I wasn't trying to rush my girls either. Like, and it was just kind of a lot. In all of that,
Mm-hmm.
there was also the ring bearer pillow. And again, my perspective of this was really, really one-sided, because it's like I only could see what I could see. And I had given our photographer the rings because he had done the flat lays first thing in the morning. Like, our photographer videographer came here, did flat lays first thing in the morning. And then, you know, so that I was like, oh, if we're done with the rings, just take them so that the boys have them. Give them to Edwin. He's in charge of them. Again, everything was on the spreadsheet. Everyone had an assignment. Everyone was on the same page. So I was like, this is great. And I was like, then I don't have to worry about the rings. I can just worry about me, myself, whatever, you know, all the other things I was worrying about. Not thinking or putting together that you need ring bearer pillows with the rings.
Mm-hmm.
And the ring bearer pillows were in my possession, 100%. Because the plan was originally, since I was going to have the rings, once we arrived at the chapel, I would hand off the rings and the pillow to your groomsman, who was assigned. I mean, it's fine, it all worked out, but there was definitely a disconnect there. My dad had to step in, essentially, and him, because yeah, it was like him and like my uncle were here, and they were just like, we're taking this, you know, it was already 10:15, or like we were running late at that point. So he was just like, we're taking this, gonna see you at the chapel, get ready now, type of thing. And I will say, in all of that chaos, so in the chaos of the ring bearer pillow, in the chaos of we're trying to take pictures, but then everyone was still in hair and makeup, but then I was like, whatever, I had a moment where I completely dissociated. And this is where I need a shout out to Mo, because she just kind of like, she just snapped and was like, okay, let's go, guys. Like, okay, let's go over here. Let's, you know, because I could not, I was at the point where I was like, I am not in control of anything that's happening. And there's still like 30 things that need to happen. Plus I need to put on my dress at this point. And it's like 10:15, you know, and I'm like, we are on time, which means that we're behind.
Yes.
You know, so I was like, okay. And all that to say, it was like, it all worked out, because I need to shout out all of my bridesmaids. When we took all the like little cute photos in our robes and our photos on our hangers and like all that stuff, my bridesmaids were the most efficient and the most beautiful human beings I've ever seen. And they just kind of like locked in, and we did it very, very quickly. And then, you know, it was kind of like, okay, let's go. And we all like ran to the rooms. The girls put on their dresses. I start shimmying into my dress. My mom, I don't know, like with magic, she went from not in her dress and then in her dress. Like, I don't know if her dress was like a zip up or something. Her dress was so quick because I blinked and my mom was dressed. And I was like, oh, cool. So then my mom was helping me put on my dress, because my dress was a zipper, but it also had 10,000 buttons. And it was kind of like, okay, you know, so then my mom was able to get me in the dress, and we locked in, because it was like a corset or a sub corset, and then it had a liner, and then the zipper, and then the buttons. So like my mom and I got through like steps 1, 2, 3, and then Mo shows up, and then now it's the 10,000 buttons. And I don't know what she did. All I know is that I was holding my breath for about 10 seconds, and, you know, because I'm just like, you know, holding in and holding, you know, standing as upright as I can.
Yeah.
And my mom and Mo just lock me in with the buttons, because I feel it. I physically feel as each button is like locked in, the dress, like it's molded to me. Like I'm like, I am in this dress and I am not moving. And it's like, okay, cool. And then I heard someone somewhere shout out, "Limo's here." And this was while I was getting dressed also. So I was like, okay, limo's here. We are getting dressed. And I was like, we are on time. At this point, it was like 10:30, 10:35. And I was like, we are pushing it, but we're still on time. But we're pushing it. And I was like, okay, everything's fine. I slip into, I get into the dress. We all, figure everything out. And then I don't know what happened at that point. All I remember is that I walked outside. In the flurry of everything, hair and makeup had already left, and the girls, they like cleaned up. I don't know how. They like cleaned up all of whatever was over here. And, even like the breakfast area, they like in the kitchen, they kind of like were able to clean and organize, not like put everything away, but they organized it so that it wasn't like just food hanging out. Like it was, they covered it and we were like good. And I was like, I did not ask them to do that, but they did. And it was just like, okay. And then we hop into the limo. And at this point, it was like 45. So I was like, okay, we're leaving now. I know that the soonest we're going to get there is we are going to physically get into the parking lot at 11. Like, I was like, that's the soonest, assuming there's no traffic, assuming we have all green lights, all that stuff. But realistically, we're going to be coming into the parking lot at 11:05, which was like heartbreaking because I was like, oh no, like the one thing I said to everyone and I was expecting of everyone was no one be late. So then I was like, okay, well, this is what's happening. Because at this point, it was very much a case of, I cannot change what's happening. I am just doing what I need to do to get to the chapel. At this point, I was kind of in like survival mode because I was like, if I overthink this too much, I'm going to lose it. All the while, like, and I want to say like all through this, because I'm very much like bypassing a lot of like little details and things. I'm having the most emotional, but like wonderfully emotional morning. Like I'm hanging out with people that I love. And, I like, there are moments like Roxanne and I, like, we're eating breakfast together, which was so, so, so sweet. Michelle and I were like playing with our hair and like doing girly things. Like we're, all these wonderful, sweet moments that I will forever cherish and I will forever hold in my heart. But it was also, and I'm like on the verge of like tears just thinking about it, or like having moments with my mom or having moments with, Mo, because she truly was, I think out of the whole, she was MVP of the whole day, because Mo not only held me accountable, she like picked me up when I couldn't, like when I was like at capacity, and she was like, nope, we're going, come on. Like she just kind of kept me going. So, all the wonderful moments of like a very sentimental and emotional and just girlhood moments, they all happened too. Like I want to be very, very clear. Our morning was not that chaotic up until that very, very last 30-minute push of, okay, from the weird transition from hair and makeup touch-ups to let's take photos in our robes to let's get dressed right now, let's walk out the door. I don't know. And actually, like, shout out to my bridesmaids. They like took 90% of their stuff, which was amazing to me. I thought they were all going to leave their stuff, which was fine. Like I told them, I was like, if you need to leave it, don't worry about it. I can give it to you. You could come back anytime. It's not that big of a deal. I think the last of it was one of our bridesmaids left her shoes and we kept forgetting to bring them to her. We eventually did give her shoes back though. So, everything about the morning went to plan and was perfect, other than that last like 30 minutes of just, it was chaotic, and there were so many elements that were out of my control that it was like, I can't blame anyone other than in my planner head, again, hindsight is 2020, in my planner head, I should have told hair and makeup we need to be done by 9 or 9:30, not 10. Because of me thinking like, okay, we're going to leave by 10. So then at least we would have the buffer of not just the photos, but like getting dressed and cleaning up and doing, that was the buffer that I gave myself 30 minutes. I should have given myself an hour or an hour and a half. And actually, ironically enough, because I still get bridal content on all of my social media, one of the tips was tell your hair and makeup person that you want to be ready an hour before you want to be ready. And I was like, that would have been exactly what I needed for my wedding day. All that to say, we walk out the door. We look fire. It's cold. But, you know, everything was great. We get it to the limo, and, you know, shout out to that limo driver. He had a heavy foot, and he knew that I had a chapel to get to and a wedding to be a part of. So, and, you know, again, shout out to my bridesmaids. They were all very reassuring to me. They were like, if there's any day for you to be late, it's today, because it's not like the wedding can happen without you, which is very true. Like, regardless, everyone's going to wait for me. They have to. There's, you know, what are you going to do? The bride's not there. The wedding's not happening. So, we pull up to the chapel at 11:05, and I very distinctly remember this. I give my mom a kiss, and I give her, this is also like because they both had handkerchiefs and stuff, and I couldn't give it to my dad. It was like a whole thing. So I gave my mom the handkerchief for her and my dad. They both had one. And I was like, please give this to Dad. He did not get his letter, which I gave to him later on. But, you know, and it was like, okay, we're moving on. So then, you know, Mom went to the chapel, and I guess Dad sat her. I don't really know the specifics. Dad sat her. And then the next thing I know was, it was just kind of this, it wasn't really waiting, but it was just like I think they kind of made sure that everything was clear, as in, like, whoever needs to go inside, guests inside, and then whoever was, you know, stragglers or whatever, they were sending upstairs already. And so they cleared it out. Shout out to one of my bridesmaids' husbands. We had very specifically asked him to kind of help be almost like security and just kind of keep things like, okay, make sure there's no disturbances or whatever, because we were very intentional about how we wanted the service to go. We wanted to be very respectful to the people who were there and to the chapel and all that stuff. And my friend's husband did an amazing job. He was very straightforward and steadfast, and I told him, I was like, you are allowed to say no to my guests, because I know that you can do so in a way that is assertive. And I was like, I will give you that permission. You, from the bride, you get that permission. And, you know, so then they kind of cleared out the area, and in the particular chapel that we get married in, which was very, very nice, there's a foyer, but then there's also a side hallway. So in the side hallway is kind of where the entourage lines up so that we can get ready to walk down the aisle, literally. And so once I get the all clear, like, you know, so all the bridesmaids go, and then they're all organizing or whatever. Once I got the all clear, Mo came back, I got the all clear, and I stepped out. And my dad was there. He helped me out, and then we went to, like, the little alcove hallway where I'm supposed to line up. And in the corner of my eye, I see the groomsmen messing with the ring bearer pillow. And there was a moment where I was like, I could look over there, and I could fix this situation. I could go there and handle it myself and do whatever. Or I can be a bride and just be a bride. And so I had a moment of, and I want y'all to know how difficult this was for me as a person. I am the type of person that if something's wrong, I want to fix it. Like, I don't want to impart problems onto my friends, especially these people that we love so much. Our entourage, we love y'all so much. And I could see the panic, but I was also just like, if I jump in there, I think it's going to make it worse. And I had to tell myself that I was like, I would not be helping if I helped them. As much as it took every fiber of my being to be like, I'll just tie the rings. And I was like, but it was like, no, that's not my job. That's not my whatever. There was already 3 of them, 5 of them, whatever it was, fiddling around with it. If another hands were in there, it was just going to be too many chefs in the kitchen, you know? So, you know, and I'm kind of just standing there with my dad and with the flower girl and the ring bearers. And we're all kind of like, you know, very lightheartedly joking with the kids. And I think that's what I needed too, was like this, there was a lot of we're running late, everyone's stressed out, but I was in this very tiny, like 3x3 room with my dad and my niece and my 2 nephews, and we were all just kind of like giggling with each other, and I was telling the flower girl, like, oh, your dress is so pretty, you look like a princess, and she was twirling, and then I was telling the boys, like, you guys are so dapper and handsome, and it was just a very wholesome moment that was able to kind of take me out of all the things that went wrong, despite me being the type A planner. And I was like, you know what? I can't control the time. I can't control anything. I don't even know, like, how any of this, like, time-wise, I don't know. Because I know, like I said, we came into the parking lot 11:05. I know I walked in 11:07. And then I guess 11:10, right? Or 11:15, whatever it was.
11:10.
11:10 is when we started. So all of this was just happening. But I think, like I said, that moment in that, like, small little alcove with my family was like like, reset. All of what happened the last 4 to 6 hours is done. I am dressed. I'm here. My hair is done. My makeup's done. I look awesome because I'm wearing this great dress. And I'm giggling with my nieces and nephews. Cool. Like, that's all it was. The boys figured out the ring bearer pillow. And then they lined up. And then and then we started. And yeah, it was also, I didn't realize, as silly as this sounds, I didn't realize that because I'm the bride, I don't actually see the wedding. Like, I don't see it happening. I don't see the entourage. I don't see the groomsmen looking so dapper and wonderful in their suits and their ties, and I don't see the bridesmaids, like, walking down the aisle and being beautiful, wonderful goddesses that they are. I don't see my nephews walking down the aisle, or I don't see my niece walking. I know all of it's happening, but I'm, like, not there.
Yeah. You're not supposed to be.
I'm not. But I didn't realize that until, like, that moment, because I was like, everyone's walking, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what's happening. I literally had the thought. I was like, I don't know what's happening. And then, so, Ring Bear and Flower Girl go through. And we are very lucky, too, that the chapel we chose it's a double door. And I very specifically wanted that. From years and years and years ago, a double door entrance was what I always wanted, because I wanted the moment of you seeing me for the first time in my dress to be, like, a very grand but sacred moment. And I wanted that moment. I didn't want it to be like, I round the corner, like, I wanted the doors to close, and, Dad and I kind of reset in front of the doors. Our very kind Yinong's wife fluffed the living goodness out of my big, beautiful ball gown. And then I heard the first notes of the wedding march. Now, here's my mistake. And I know that this was a mistake, but I looked at my dad. Like, in this moment, I'm like, okay, like, I need to be present, need to be in the moment. You're telling yourself all these things. And I was like, okay. And I looked at my dad, and I was like, oh, and I just, all my emotions came right here. And I was like, I should not be looking at him, because I'm going to start crying right now. Now, granted, I did cry, but I think it's okay. The photos are endearing, we'll say, a little bit funny, but I'm not mad at it, because the doors open, and oh my God. The doors open, and I see you. I couldn't see anyone else. I really couldn't. Like, I don't know if it was the tears or the day. I could see that there were flowers and that there were people. I could hear the organ, which was my favorite part. I told our organist that because she did so well. And I saw you. And it was great. And then we got married.
Yes. So, from my perspective, I'm inside the sanctuary.
Yeah.
Waiting for everyone to get through the processional march.
Right.
And the thing was that when we practiced the march to come inside
during rehearsal, yeah.
the groomsmen, they fist bumped me.
Okay.
And so when they came in for the actual, I was expecting fist bumps.
Yeah.
And so Kuya was first.
Okay.
Instead of fist bumping me, he gave
hand.
me a handshake.
Okay, yeah.
And so I was like, okay, this is different.
Right. It just. Yeah.
And so like it was at that point where I was like, what am I gonna do for the rest of the groomsmen that come in?
Oh, you were thinking about it. Oh no.
Yeah. And so when the rest of them came in, they all gave me handshakes. And so it was this weird thing where I was like,
so formal.
oh, I'm about to fist bump you, okay. Handshake.
I hope our videographer got that. That's so funny.
But yeah.
What did you do with Ring Bears and Flower Girl? Did you just like wave to them?
No, just smiled and waved.
Okay.
Nodded my head.
Yeah.
They were in the zone too because they did not
locked in.
They did not want to even like look around. They were just
they were so
locked in.
And I love them with all of my being. I truly do. We were very lucky. Our photographer sent us back our photos already, and the way I can see the amount of concentration between the eldest or the eldest ring bearer who's actually holding the pillow. He was so locked in right here, and the way he's holding it, and he's so, like, I could see just how 90-degree rigid his body was, and he was like, I will walk, and I will stand straight, and I will not fall. Like, the amount of concentration right here in the photo, and it's so funny to me because it's like, he doesn't look happy at all. In the photo, he's so concentrated. But also, I know in my heart of hearts that it's because he took it so seriously. All of that, the three of them, all did. The youngest boy, he was a little bit not as serious in the eyebrows.
Yeah.
But again, not very smiley, just kind of very straight, very serious, very solemn. And then our beautiful, wonderful, amazing Princess Flower Girl, she was so pretty. Like, she was so pretty. But she was so concentrated too. So when she's walking down the aisle, she's just so hyper-focused on walking down the aisle. And I'm just like, oh, girl boss, you could have just smiled. You're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Those are like some of my, those are my favorite. Even though they don't look happy, because I know, like, I could see what they're thinking and how they feel in that photo. Like, it's so special to me.
Yeah, and so the entourage gets down. They get to their places. The doors close, and then you're getting ready behind the doors.
Fluff.
And then the hymn changes so that it's for you,
yes. Or the bride, yeah.
And the doors finally open, and I see you, and I'm just like, wow, that dress is big. It's humongous. And so I finally see the dress, and I'm just like, I mouth to myself, wow.
Yeah.
And, I see you, and I'm just like, oh no, she's already starting. I can't look at you anymore.
I know.
So, like, if I'm looking at you from afar, like, this is me looking at you from afar, this is how I'm actually looking at you.
Stop.
Just slightly above eye level.
A little bit off.
Just because I know that you're like starting your crying already. And so you start with like a happy face. You're like, hi. And then you're like,
okay.
You're like, hi again.
I know. So it was definitely the in between of smiling but
Yes. Yes. And so I know
photos are so great. They're
I know
so
we were
bad.
looking at the photos after it was all said and done, and we were like, we should just make a montage of the many faces of you.
But okay, and here's the thing, y'all. From day one, from before I was born, I'm the type of I wear my heart on my sleeve. If I'm happy, I'm happy. If I'm sad, I'm sad. I am not one to hide my emotional integrity. I don't know what the word is, but like, I don't hide my emotions. Well, in like, have I learned over time like how to like mask like in social situations? Sure, 100%. But like, I'm just an emotional person. I'm the type of girl, I cry during, every movie. And, like, that's just how I am. So, I did have a moment where, obviously, like, I looked at my dad and I was like, that was a mistake. Because I just was already emotional. But it was also just, like, I had a moment where I was like, so what? Like,
Yeah.
I'm so happy and I'm so excited to marry you. But I'm also just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to marry you? Like,
Yeah.
I did not... I in that moment I was like, not that I don't care, but I was like, let me cry, let me giggle, let me scream, let me be my emotional self, and let me be my most vulnerable self, because that's who I am, and that's I think who you fell in love with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I let myself not fully go, but I let myself feel.
Yeah.
And I let myself do that in that moment, because I was like, when else am I going to do this? Never. I do very distinctly remember that when I was looking at you, sorry, I'm trying hard not to cry, because it's like every time I like stop and think about it, then I want to cry. I remember though, when I was walking down the aisle, I had a very distinct thought that like, I don't even know how to phrase it. Was like, I was thinking, it can't be anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at you, and I was like, there's no one else. It's you. And walking towards you, going down the aisle, it was like, yeah. I even remember, I was like, I kind of shook my head, because I was like, there's no one else. It's you. And, I don't know if did Dad and I walk fast? I don't know. It all happened so
not
quickly.
at all.
I tried to be very intentional with it, but also that's just like years and years of processional training. I don't know. And, we like made it down the aisle. My dad was a Mr. Jokester all day. He was like, she already started before the doors opened. Hee hee ha ha, like joking to you. And I was like, excuse me, sir, shouldn't you be emotional? And that's what I was telling my mom, because my mom was like, oh, you have no idea, he's going to be so emotional. And I was like, no, he's not. Like, if I was 20, sure, but I'm not 20 anymore. Like, I'm un big girl, Don't get me wrong, my dad's my dad. I'm still his baby, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm still princess, obviously. But I'm not, I'm not a teenager. And I've grown up a lot. In a sense of, like when I moved here, a lot of things changed for the good. And I think my dad saw that. So I think he's at peace with that. If anything, he's content, because he knows that we're adults. It's not like we're jumping into this as like foolhardy, love-struck teenagers. Like, we're adults and we're doing this as adults. Which is my favorite part of our relationship and our marriage in general, is that we... As ironic as it sounds, because everyone's, oh, you waited so long to get married and da-da-da-da. I'm like, yeah, but we waited until we were ready.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it our way. Could I have wished and wanted it to be sooner? Of course, because I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I wanted that to happen 5 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever it was. I knew that. But I also know that we did what we had to do.
Yep.
And we did it on our terms. So, so my dad shook your hand. And I looked at you and I was like, wow, I'm going to marry this man.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we got married.
Yep.
It was great. I feel like in the actual like wedding itself, it was so, I don't know. I don't know how time felt for you. It happened, for me, it was so fast, but also so slow. But I was also very intentional about savoring each moment of like, throughout the whole of it, as in, not just the lesson and the prayers, but very distinctly, and I think for us, very distinctly, the hymn singing. I was telling this to our friend the other night when she came over, that one of the moments that happened, that I don't know if it was caught on camera, but it was also like a you wouldn't know unless you know kind of thing. But after the actual wedding, so, we did our vows, we said our I do's, and we exchanged rings, and then you and I had to sign the marriage certificate. So then we go off to, there's a side table where we go to, we sign the marriage certificate. Very official, very formal, and all this stuff. And then we sat back down in our seats, which are at the front of the chapel, in front of all the congregation behind us, all of our wonderful friends and family. And I was able to literally, like, physically relax. And I started leaning on you.
Mm-hmm.
And during the signing of the marriage certificates, there's a hymn that's sung. And you and I know this hymn very, very well. And so we were kind of humming and singing along. And that was the moment, I think, for me, that I was like, the most, like, if time stopped in that moment. I'm trying so hard not to cry. If time stopped in that moment, I would encapsulate that moment forever.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying so hard.
Let me go ahead and take it from you while you compose yourself. So after the entourage is in their place, you walk down the aisle. I see you for the first time in your dress.
Wow.
Your dad gives me the handshake, and then I take your hand and we walk towards our seats.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, this is the first time I'm seeing your dress.
Yeah.
So you have dress, and you have the rest of the dress.
Yeah.
And so when we get when we get to our chairs, I'm like, what am I doing with the rest of the dress?
Yes.
And so, I'm trying to get it in a ways that it's supposed to drape over the chair.
Yeah.
And the rest of your dress is so heavy that it just topples the chair over.
It does, yes.
And so
also, if you did that, you were going to have me flash the entire congregation, so.
Yeah. And then the main sponsor on the
Ninang,
female side,
yeah.
Ninang, she helps in trying to scooch your dress,
or
the rest of your dress,
shoved and tucked.
Yeah, to the side of your chair.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't going to go over it, and it wasn't going to go in between our chairs.
Our chairs, yeah. And
so there it was, just lying on the left side of you.
Yeah, it just kind of.
And just there.
Waterfall.
It's just there.
Yeah.
And so.
It's just there.
We go through the service. We get to the part where we're supposed to kneel down, and you were supposed to get the admonition from the minister.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this is cool. I can bend down and I can kneel on this padding, which is not going to hurt my knees.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this is fine. The problem is I can't get back up.
Getting up, yeah.
And so just like we practiced, the primary sponsor, the Ninong, he was supposed to help me up, but instead both Ninong and best man came over, and they just took a part of my right arm, and then I just leaned on them so I can get back up.
Yeah.
And that was fine. And I was like, cool. That was the hard part for me.
Yeah.
And then we stood back up, but right before that, right before we kneeled down, the vows of trying to say everything that the minister was saying threw me off.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
And so the first part was supposed to be the minister saying, I state your name, but he said, I state her name. And so I said, and then I stated my name, because I was like, that's not right. I'm not supposed to state your name.
Y'all, the way, okay, when this happened, and it was one of those things that, like, I don't blame the minister at all. It's just kind of like, you know what he meant to say, but he said, I state her name, and it should have been, I state your name.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a slip in, like, a momentary whatever it was. And the way, when that happened, I was just locked eyes with Chiggy, and I was like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Do not mess this up. It's like, don't mess this up or make this better, worse, whatever. Just do what you have to do. We already rehearsed this. The way I was telecommunicating all of my thoughts onto him, and I was like, just, please.
Yes. So it took me a slight pause, but I was like, I stated the correct name, and then continued on.
Yes.
But there was a definite pause during that
Yeah.
because I was like, I know I didn't say this incorrectly, but he phrased it incorrectly.
It just, yeah. We all knew what he meant, and it was just kind of like we just move forward.
Yep.
We just move on. Yeah.
And so getting through saying the vowels was a little harder on me, just because I was trying to keep it in.
Oh, yeah.
And because I didn't have a handkerchief.
Oh, I know. Okay, this is also my fault, y'all. I had everyone's handkerchiefs. I had all the boys' handkerchiefs. And because we were on time, I wasn't able to give it to them.
Yeah. And so I didn't even know that you had a handkerchief for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just knew that I needed a handkerchief. And between me and best man, we were like, I don't have a handkerchief.
I'm dead.
And so I was trying my darndest to not cry during the entire thing.
Yeah.
But it did come out during the prayers or something or whatever. And so
nice.
I was able to, wipe off a little bit and then compose myself and get
Your
that
sleeve?
on my hand.
Oh, okay.
And so we get through the entire wedding, and then the kiss happens.
Okay, wait. Before we get there, I want to say this to like any of our guests or any of our friends who attended, and I'm just curious. You can let us know in the comments down below. Apparently, when I did my vows, I did it in like teacher voice.
Yes, you did.
Which is so funny to me, because I wasn't consciously trying to do teacher voice.
Mm-hmm.
I was just trying to. I'm already crying. I'm already an emotional mess. But I want to say these words as clearly and succinctly as possible.
And that's when teacher voice came out.
I was going to say, and as I'm saying that, it's like, it just comes out naturally, because I was like, I'm just trying to ensure that my dictation of the words is correct and clear for everyone, including the camera person.
Right.
And so I was like,
So, after your vows were said and we're supposed to kiss,
now kiss the bride.
You, for whatever reason, back up.
No, okay, hold on. I had a moment, y'all, when he said, you may now kiss the bride. And I was like, yay! And then I was like, we are standing in front of 180 people, including my family.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
I know, but that was the thought that happened, which is why, and you can see it in the pictures.
I had to travel a mile just to kiss you.
He's leaning so far, and I'm leaning so far back. Because, and it's not that I didn't want to kiss. I want to be very clear. It was just that momentary thought of, we are in front of all of these people, including my parents, who we barely hold hands in front of my parents up until this point. Like, we're not afraid to show that we're in a relationship with them, but it's not like I'm like making out with you in front of them. Like, that's weird. And so the idea of just like kissing, I was like, in front of everyone? And so that's the thought in my head, which is why you kiss, I was like,
This person.
It was so good. It was so good. The pictures are hilarious. 100%.
Yep. And so everything's all said and done. We get introduced finally as one, and then and then we walk out of the sanctuary, and we were supposed to hide away inside the minister's office, but we ended up just staying inside the little hallway adjacent to the sanctuary, and we had a little partition that we closed off, and so we still got our little time together to finally take everything in. And
that was a very intentional thing too. I if you were able to do it at your wedding, highly recommend. So for us, it was we left the sanctuary, and then the sanctuary essentially was like reset. So like they moved all the wedding furniture out of the way, essentially like the chairs, the thing we were kneeling on, all that stuff they moved out of the way so that we could take photos with our decorations and our flowers and all the things, right? But because I knew that there was going to be time that that time needed to happen, I had intentioned or planned it that we would have that time of just us. You're right. It didn't happen where we expected it to happen, but it kind of worked out because
It still did, yeah.
I mean, even people who did walk by us, I think they kind of realized that it was just like, they're having a moment. Yeah, and we had, I would say it was like 5 or 10 minutes of holding hands and just living in that moment. So yeah, if you get a chance to do that at your wedding, and it could be after the ceremony, it could be right before the reception, but having a reprieve of just the two of you, I think is an important it's an important thing to add into the timeline, because when you're with your guests, or when you're with you're kind of in like hostess mode or host mode, and you're greeting all these people and you're talking to all these people, and you're receiving all of their love. So you need to remember to take a moment to revel in your own love. That was very, very important to us. And I shout out to our entourage. I think they were very intentional about protecting us in the way that they could, because Mo and Best Man kind of were on standby like immediately, and then as soon as everything was kind of ready, all clear, then we could go back in, which was really, really nice. Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments of the day in general. I just married you, and then I'm holding hands with you in the chapel, and I was like, ooh, we get to hold hands with you. Says the girl who was like, I can't kiss in front of everyone. Oh, it was so great.
So we have our little moment, and then someone tells us, oh, we're needed inside for pictures.
Waiting for you. Yep.
So we take the little quick exit back into the sanctuary, and the first picture we take is with the choir.
This was so special.
Yep.
This is so special. We love our choir family. We love our choir family so much. And we did not know if we could take this photo, but it was a photo that we very, very much wanted, and we were hoping and praying that we would get permission to do so. This photo will never see the light of day. This photo is just for us.
Yep.
But it is us and our choir family, and it is hands down like my favorite. That is such a nice encapsulation of the genuine of our community. And by that I mean because so many of those people have taken it upon themselves, willingly taken it upon themselves, to help you and I out, to help us out as a couple, or even us out as individuals in the moments of absence, because both you and I, as we've gotten older, like our parents are no longer with us, and obviously we're adults now, and that's fine or whatever, but there were moments in our late 20s, early 30s, where things were looking dire and dark, and the people that without question we could turn to was our choir family.
Of course.
And that was I loved that photo. I love that photo so much, because it has the people in it who really went out of their way to help us to get to where we are. They are our people. I trust every single one of them, and I love every single one of them, and I know same in return. So that was a very, very special photo. And again, the fact that we even got permission to take that photo was just crazy. So I'm very honored to have that photo. Yep.
And so that picture started the slew of the many pictures that we had on the docket to go through.
Yeah.
But that one picture with the choir became so many different pictures with the choir, because they would take the picture and they'd be like, oh, there's this other person that still needs to come up.
Yeah.
Please come up. Okay, let's take another picture. Oh, this other person. Yeah. Please come up. And so I think the picture was taken maybe 5 or 6 times. Yes. But we finally got almost everyone.
One missing, right?
Yeah, we still had some missing. But we still took the picture, and then after that, we came down from the choir loft and started taking our many different pictures that you had planned.
Yeah. So these are our staged photos. So essentially, all of the chapel decor and like our formal photos, or like the photos that you would do at like a formal photo shoot. So like us and parents, us and siblings, us and parents and siblings, us and cousin, us and parents and cousin, us and parents and cousin, and niece and nephew, us and siblings and niece and nephew. Like all of the variations of these photos. So obviously it starts with family first, and then we did our ninungs and ninungs, our entourage, assortments of friends, and it went on for 2 hours.
Like an hour 15.
Okay, hour 15. And this was a very hyper specific response for me because we had gone to a wedding like within the last year, where they didn't have this opportunity, as in they were a little bit rushed, so they only got photos, like photos with parent, photo with sibling, but they didn't get all of their photos.
Right.
And I was very intentional of not only scheduling the time allotment, but also I had our Ninong's wife. She was literally on the PA calling out who to come next.
Right.
And I had like very specific visions. It was like, okay, my family of just the aunties and uncles, my family with just grandma, my family with grandma and aunties and uncles, my family with grandma, aunties and uncles and the kids, my family with just the kids, my family with just the cousins. Like it was all very specific. And am I going to like use every single one of these photos or whatever? I'm gonna put them all in like a book for our wedding album, yes. But my logic and thought process is, and this is, I see this because again, the wedding that we attended, they did not get this opportunity. Weddings are one of two occasions in your life where everyone you know and love is there, and they're dressed really, really well.
Yes.
So if there's a time to take a picture with these people who you love, who have raised you, who have shown you how to be a good person, whatever it is, all these people who have meaning and importance and impact on your life, this is the one time. Yes, take the photo. Take the 5 seconds to take the dang photo. Because there's so many other moments in your life where you're like, oh, we're living in the moment, or oh, we're too busy, or oh, I can't see you because you live across the country, whatever it is, and we don't take photos with those people. But this is the one where I'm like, no, let's take 5 seconds. Let's take this photo because you are so important to me. You are here, and I want to remember that you were here in this moment for me, for us, for our family. Like I wanted that so that we have that forever, and that can't be taken away. Plus, our friends and family look so good. And why do they look so good? Because of the color scheme. Shout out to, okay, I don't know if this is controversial or not. I don't even know if I've said this on the pod yet. We had a color scheme for our wedding, and shout out to our guests. Pretty much everyone followed it. There was one exception, but it was only because her mom didn't tell her. And I don't blame her. She still wore a neutral, so like she did not stick out at all. And I was like, oh, we're fine. Because she literally came up to me and she was like, oh, I didn't know. And I was like, girl, it's okay. Like you're wearing a neutral color, so like you like blend in with the people's. But yeah, and it was the coolest. My goal or my intention was I wanted everyone to be within the same color scheme so that when we took pictures, it would look very intentional and almost editorial, because it's like just the intention. Like it looks planned.
Yeah.
We all planned to wear this color, and everyone looked fire in blue. I'm just going to say it. Like, I don't know how, why, who, what, where, when, but everyone looked so good in blue, and I was so happy with their choice. Like, the photos look bomb. And we have pictures with everyone. It was great. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was so great. Like, I was so happy with it. And yeah, that was our wedding.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
It was.
It was a very, what's the word? It went from a very nice to crazy hectic to crazy emotional, but then also just like, I mean, by the end of it, like that moment that I want to encapsulate, the overwhelming gratitude I feel like you and I felt in that moment, because it was a dream day for us, and everyone that we love was there for us. I mean, who are we? Like, how crazy is that? All these people went out of their way to spend the day with us and celebrate with us. Like, I don't know how we could deserve that great of a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was really, really nice. And, you know, and it was fun because I think, as silly as it sounds, everyone wanted to be there. Like, everyone wanted to celebrate us and celebrate this thing that's happening. Again, I think another benefit of us just like dating for so long and everyone's like, finally.
Mm-hmm.
The joke became "At Last," because that song was playing for throughout the wedding, and everyone reposted about it later. Everyone just reposted with "At Last."
Yeah.
By Etta James. Etta James, I think, or yeah. So it was very it was a very sacred and blessed occasion.
Mm.
I wouldn't have it any other way. I think the only thing that I wish I could have done is I wish I stopped to take a picture of the flowers. Because I saw they were stunning. They were beautiful. We decked the chapel out, and I am so glad. A big thing that I told all of our vendors, and by vendors I mean like we were very fortunate that we just pretty much hired majority of our friends. But a big thing that I told them was, I want you to have fun with your art.
Mm-hmm.
This was to our photographer, our videographer, our florist, even the DJ. I was like, I want you to have fun doing what you do best, and I want you to be as creative as you want to be, within reason. Like, don't go like off the walls.
Yeah.
But I want you. This is your form of expression. I'm not here to inhibit that. So, you know, like to our photographer and videographer, I was like, whatever you guys want to do to make it look like whatever you see in your vision, do it. Because I'm hiring you because I trust that vision. And I trust you to have the eye to do it. And it was the same with the florist. Because the florist, you know, back and forth, we're like talking ideas and this and that. He's like, oh, I want to do this for this. And I said, yes. Every single time he asked me, what do you think of this? Yes, yes, yes. Do what you think will look good because I trust your vision. And I trust your opinion and I trust it. That's why I want you to do it. And I wasn't trying to be a indecisive bride. Like, I wasn't trying to be like, I don't know what I want. I would tell them, like, oh, this is what I'm looking for. But I'm trusting you to creatively make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, my uncle did the thing with the flowers. It was great. I have not seen the chapel decked out with that many flowers before. Because we had flowers on flowers on flowers going down the aisle. We had flowers on flowers on flowers on the front.
Yeah.
It was lovely. It was great. And the colors, oh, so pretty. I don't know if you know this. We bought blue orchids. And orchids are not blue, naturally. They're dyed. These were dyed blue. Blue flowers are not easy to come by. Let's just be honest here. And I knew that. I was kind of like, yeah, we'll do white flowers, and then if you find something blue, cool. Like, if you don't, white flowers are fine. Like, we'll use blue. We use blue swags. Like, I was like, there's other ways to use blue, but, you know, the overall color was blue. And we found these beautiful, beautiful dyed, like, they're like deep, deep, deep navy blue orchids. Again, orchids are not that color, but they were so beautiful and stunning. And while we were at the wholesale florist shop, my uncle, or our florist, my uncle, he kept going back to them because he's like, they're so pretty, but they're very, very expensive. Orchids are so expensive. Orchids are deadly expensive. But they're these beautiful, beautiful, like deep blue, like, I mean, sapphires. They look like sapphires, like just cascading down like a waterfall. And, you know, and I told him, I was like, if you want to get them, we can get them. Like, it's within the budget. Like, if you want to get, he's just like, no, like, if I buy this, I can't get as much of this, you know, or whatever it was. But he kept going back to it. And so my mom and dad convinced him. They're like, just get it. You know, if it goes over, we'll pay whatever. It's fine. And those orchids were like one of my favorite things at the wedding because he put them in the floral arrangements that were right by the door. So they were kind of the tallest ones, and they were like literally the orchids were cascading. They looked like just these beautiful sapphire jewels, just like water falling down, and they were so pretty. Another nice thing about it was a nice callback because my mom's wedding bouquet when she got married were orchids. She had she had like a cascading waterfall bouquet, and it was all orchids, and like it was orchids and then like ribbons. I don't know. This was the 90s. They did stuff. And so the fact that I got to have orchids at my wedding, in my heart, I was like, oh, that's like an homage to my mom and my parents and their wedding. And it felt very, I don't know, it just felt very full circle. It was really, really nice. And so, yeah, I wish I wish I stopped to smell the roses, literally. I did see the flowers, like I did, but I wish I stopped to like admire them and, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lovely day. It was a lovely wedding. We did the thing and we got married.
Mm-hmm.
And we signed the paperwork, and so we're legally bound forever and ever and ever.
Yep.
Amen. So, Chiggy, any other final thoughts you want to add to like actual wedding?
No, not really. There is still a whole other section that we still need to go over, which is the reception.
Oh yeah.
But
I knew the reception was going to be its own episode.
yes, it's going to be its own episode.
Yeah.
So I'll save it for that time.
Yeah, for sure. We hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. I know it's kind of like, I don't know what the word is. It's weird because it's like we're just recounting the story of our wedding, but this is also just like a way for us to remember it. And we'll have it forever. So we hope you enjoyed listening to our wonderful, hysterical, you know, stories about all the wedding day shenanigans. Let us know in the comments down below if you guys are enjoying Wedding Saga. I know we are. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And we will see y'all next time.
Bye.